I'm Snooky, and today I am joined by Smo.
Hello, hello.
And Cherry.
Hello, hello.
And together we are Hydragames69. Alright, let's get back into Hello Neighbor Missing Pieces. Chapter 7. The rattle on my trails wake me from a restless sleep. It was the grocery store again, the cold metal grind of the cart against my bare leg, the towers of the canned goods, the giant brown doors with their rubber stoppers on the ground. I got out of the cart this time, and when I pushed the doors open, I could see the grocery aisles that I thought I would. It was just endless tunnels in every direction, dark, winding passages leading to nowhere. I never felt more afraid. I overheard my grandma once say to my mom, "Keep a leash on that wolf. He seems too much at night." For as much as I've always hated my nightmares, my grandma hated them more, which is strange because I never told her about them. She always just knew. I wish my mom had figured out how to put that leash on me. Between the nightmare and the specter of Mr. Peterson still too close to ignore, I launched myself from my bed and head straight for the window, determined to face down whatever threat is rattling the trellis, except no one's there. Must have been a cat, I tell myself. Neighbor's cat have taken to climbing the trellis lately. A fun new development to see my already fried nerves on edge. I'm just about to go back to bed when I heard the crinkling of paper. I opened the window and lifted the screen from the frame, leaning as far as I can over my window without falling out. There, trapped between a rung of the trellis and the vines that weave through it, is a carefully folded piece of notebook paper. I teetered out onto the trellis, still shaking from my dream, and my foot looses its grip on the slate just above the piece of paper. I catch myself, but barely, and I'm rewarded with a sharp scratch from a splintered adjacent rung. I grasp the note, holding it in my mouth until I've climbed back to my window and replaced the screen. The note reads, 8 p.m. Llama Farm. Don't be late. I smile even though my hands are still shaking from my climb and my arm is burning with a new scrape, and my head is still swimming with visions of dark, endless tunnels. I arrive at 7:59. Aaron is already there, laying in wait, pick in hand. "Ready?" he asks. "I have no idea," I say. "Well, just answer me this. Can you be stealth?" Yes? "I need a firm, commitment here, Nikki." I've never seen Aaron more serious, which is why I can't keep myself from laughing. "Dude, this mission is critical. Navy SEAL level action. I need to know, are you in?" I pull myself together as best I can. "Let's do this." Here's the thing. Once Aaron discovered I was good with gadgets, a world of opportunity in this strange yet boring town seemed to open up. Frankie, Mrs. Brevis restores old doll heads, so of course we had to find a way to pipe creep voices into her shop. Look, if you're going to own a store filled with antique doll parts, you're kind of already set up for terror. It was so easy once, Aaron convinced her. He was looking for something to replace the head on his mom's broken Madame Alexander doll. I put a plug here and switched there, and poof, haunted doll heads chatting. We're lonely, and come play with us. And Mr. Quinn lets his dog poop on Aaron's lawn practically every morning, and he never picks it up. All Aaron had to do was throw a ball into his backyard to get Mr. Quinn to step away from his mailbox for a few minutes. It was the perfect opportunity to test out my spring-loaded capsule in his mailbox. The weapon of choice? A nice soft ball of dog turd. It was really just poetic justice. Anyway, as far as I can tell, Farmer Llama never did anything deserving of the Robin Hood level justice we've been doling out. So I'm not altogether sure what we're doing here. But Aaron is 100% dialed in, and he's not in a place to be questioned at this second. Aaron spends half his time looking around his shoulder, even though I'm the lookout. Just focus on the lock, I say. Give me some space. Any closer you'll be on my shoulders, he says. And holy aliens, Aaron is nervous. This is the first time I've ever seen him nervous doing a prank. You know we're both going to be in so much trouble if we get caught, right? I say, wiping a bead of sweat from my hairline. Nope, he says, not getting caught. Come on, you can pull a prank on a llama farmer without attracting attention. Llamas are too cute. Us with llamas pay the consequences. It's just common sense, I ramble. Number 1, he says, no one ever said anything about doing anything to the llamas. We're after something of more symbolic value. Llamas are off limits. Try the bump key, I say, and Aaron looks annoyed, but he tries it anyway. Number 2, he continues, I thought you only answered to your space alien overlords. True, I concede. We are ruled by the race of distant space overlords who will one day rain down their fury upon us lonely earthlings. So I guess we might as well seize the day. I still don't get it, he says. I thought your family was Jewish. We are. So you guys believe that we're ruled by aliens? I'm sure I could convince at least one rabbi that it's a possibility. I crowd him again. Maybe he should use the rake. The bump isn't going to work. Aaron positions a hammer over the key. You're never going to get the leverage you need with that, I say. I don't need a leverage, he says, when I've got technique. He takes a deep breath and brings a hammer down on the key. With a thud, the old padlock drops on the ground. Aaron smiled. By my count, that's 3 for me and 1 for you this week. Hey, as far as I can tell, you've got zero excuse for not being a master lockbreaker by now. You've got a house full of locks. Gee, you could practice on that basement door outside your house and become a pro in one day if you weren't so lazy. Somewhere along the way, we must have stopped joking though, because by the time I turn around, Aaron's face had turned to stone. What? I asked, and a knot forming in my stomach. Nothing. Let's just get this over with, okay? He says, and I open the gate with far less joy than I felt a minute ago. The tension is short-lived though. The monotony of our mission unfolds before us once we're in Farmer Llama's field. Aaron looks at me. Stealth, he whispers. I nod in response. We make our way along the fence line. wary of the farm owner whose name we don't know, so we've just been calling him Farmer Llama. He's rarely seen in public, occasionally at the natural grocer. Eventually, he's not the type to hold a grudge, or out in the field grumbling at them. And I swear to the aliens, they sound like they grumble back. What's got me on edge is that unlike Mr. Quinn or Mrs. Beveridge, we haven't been able to assess Farmer Llama's comings and goings. What if Farmer Llama is in the barn? I whisper. We took a wrong turn, Aaron shrugged. Through his padlock chain link fence. We take a few more steps before Aaron hisses, "Heads up!" We fall to the ground like snipers behind a barricade. Footsteps approach quickly, their pace increasing the closer they get. I ready my excuses. We're selling candy for our baseball league. Or with the future farmers of America. We want to mow his lawn. This is it, I whisper. Mom, Dad, I love you. Please don't send me to military school. Quiet, Aaron whispers. But he's laughing so hard he farts, and now I can't keep it in. And oh well, it was a good life, I suppose. The footsteps come to an abrupt halt a couple of yards away. Aaron rises from the grass first and snorts. I stand to find myself eye to eye with a dusty gray llama. Why do they sound so human when they walk? Aaron asks. I asked myself that same question so many times. Come on, Aaron says, dusting off the grass. Let's just ignore the llama. Right, he says. I salute him. Roger that. I nod. Stealth. The llama burps. What are we looking for? I ask. The barn, Aaron says, and we both look at the field in front of us. I count 5 barns, all identically in size and faded shade of blue. Can you be more specific? More footsteps, and out of the tall grass emerges a dark brown llama to accompany the first. Hey look, he brought a friend, I say. Can we focus please, Aaron says, and I can tell he's getting nervous again, but I can't help myself. We may get halfway across the field before we realize we've attracted a small crowd. At least 5 llamas following us toward a small blue outbuilding at the edge of the field. I can't continue my laughter. What? I think we left Self back there by the gate, in case you hadn't noticed. We've got groupies now. A llama sneezes, sprays the side of my arm. Anyway, we're almost to the barn, right? I say. But just as we approach the outbuilding, I hear a voice in the distance. Maggie? Frank? What the dickens are you all doing out there? At first I think he's talking to us, but 2 of the llamas turn in his direction when they hear his voice. Shoot! Go, go, go! I drop to the ground and arm crawl on the itchy grass toward the little blue building. Joy, Cindy, where the devil are you? I keep expecting people to pop out of the nearby buildings, but no. Clearly, Maggie, Frank, Joy, and Cindy are the llamas steadily chewing on a path at our tail, giving away our location with every second they linger. Now or never, Nikki, Aaron whispers, and this time I can tell he's not goading me on. Whatever this stupid mess is, we're in it together. I crawl until my pants fill with dry grass, and in an act of awesome bravery, okay, pointless idiocy. I leap to a stand and swing around the corner of the outbuilding, Aaron following close behind. We stand there panting, backs against the clapboard wall of the barn, and all at once I see Aaron's eyes light up in the dark. "What?" I ask under my breath. "That's it," he says, and his face breaks into a smile. I can see what he's so happy about. It's just the inside of a barn wall. But whatever it is what we came here for tonight. Seconds later, I hear heavy boots crush the overgrowth where we were just hiding. "It's dinner time," a gravely voice says from so close by I can hear him wheeze. We go silent, not even daring to exhale. I squeeze my eyes shut, willing myself to be invisible. One of the llamas grunt. "Now don't you take that tone with me," Farmer Llama says. And I elbow Aaron hard in the ribs while he bites his hand to keep from losing it. More shuffling in the grass, and finally one of the llamas offer a more agreeable sound. "All right, that's more like it," he says, and his boots kick their way through the tall grass. One by one, his llamas follow their master, grumbling as they go. Once we're sure he's left the barn and we can't hear the llamas nearby, Aaron emerges from the barn first, signaling me to head through the stall to the area he was smiling at a minute ago. We stare down at it, a pile of insolent tin signs stacked high in the corner of the barn. What did he even need these for?" Aaron asked. I look anxiously over my shoulder at the barn door. "You're sure he's not going to miss it?" "Mickey, he has like a million," he says. And I know he's right, even if what we're doing feels a little wrong. We keep off the main roads, snaking through side roads and side yards, avoiding street lights like kryptonite. A sign tucked under my arm as I bring it up the rear while Aaron forgoes a safe path. I got home that night. I scratched my belly raw. Little red bumps have begun to spring up, and I finally have to ask, "Mom, where the kosher cream is?" "What in God's name did you do to yourself?" she gasped, reaching for the scratches as I yank my shirt down. "Poison oak," I say, which is completely unsatisfactory. "Poison oak? But it's only on your stomach," she said, eyes me. "It's personal, okay?" I invoke the ultimate excuse that explains that kills any absolute injury dead. Mom backs away with her hands up. I don't want to know. It's my second victory of the day. I wait until I hear the television click off in my parents' room, and their soft, immaculate snoring fills the air before I pull the dented tin sign from my bed. I gaze up my price. St. Nick's Lovely Llamas. We had no choice but to take the sign. It was literally calling my name. But actually it called to Aaron first. It was my name and he answered the call, planning a heist that would only have special meaning for me. We've never stayed in one place long enough for me to make a good friend. That night, I toss and turn, worried about how long it will take for my family to leave Ravenbrook. It's like we've left everywhere else. Alright, your chapter is up next, Smoke.
Alright, chapter 8.
By late July, we've picked our way through most of the logs at the Golden Apple Factory. I've gone almost as good as Aaron, but I don't feel the need to tell him that. He already knows, but most of the time I think he's glad about it. But sometimes, like today, I think maybe he's jealous. Imagine that. A kid jealous of Nicholas Roth, the new kid, the Narfinator, the one who knows every Twilight Zone episode by heart. Thanks, Dad. And every element on the periodic table. Thanks, Mom. The one who likes sushi better than cheeseburgers and likes girls who are taller than him and thinking Talking Heads is still the best band there ever was. I don't care what anyone else says. You willing to bust that lock this century, or should I start rationing food? Aaron says behind me. Yeah, he's jealous. I told you to eat your breakfast, I say in my best mom voice. Eat this, he says, leaning in to touch me in the shoulder. But I spring the log just in time to swing open the door. And he stumbles through and lands squarely in a pile of bubble wrap packing. It seems we found the shipping department. I laugh so hard I think I'm going to rupture something, and eventually Aaron laughs too. Oh, nothing to see here, I say, shoving a box of packing peanuts aside. Not so fast, Aaron says, memorized as every human on Earth is by the simple act of popping a sheet of plastic in bubbles. Once we exhausted an entire roll of bubble wrap, we both are really hungry, and we make our way back to the room that used to be the elephant's graveyard of electronics before we picked it clean. Now we refer to it as the office we left. We left an opening TV and VCR in there after we discovered that the generator that powers the conveyor belt powers electricity for some of the second floor office as well. Aaron's assumption is a sizable library of movies thanks to an obsession he has about reading them when they air, or recording them when they air. His timing for catching the best movie is ridiculously good. Throw in a couple of cushy executive chairs on Wiffle Pilford from the nicest office, and we have our very own media room. Aaron rummages around in a filing cabinet and pulls out a bag of cheese crackers and a couple of sodas. You seriously have rations, I say, tearing into the crackers. I pause for a second when I hear skittering behind the wall beside me. Great, now the rest know we have crackers. I like to be prepared, Aaron says. Then the end is nigh, he laughs, a ghoulish laugh, and I roll my eyes and things feel normal again, as normal as they can around Aaron. That's why it feels like the right time to ask him about how everyone acts when he walks into the gamer's grotto at the square. It's been a few weeks, but I haven't been able to shake the memory. I went clothes shopping with my dad, I offered. Sounds riveting, he says. It was alright. A kid named Enzo hooked me up with some pretty cool stuff, I say, easing into what I really want to ask him. Aaron doesn't say anything though. He just fiddles with the metal tab on his soda can. I think he said he knows you, I say, trying again. This time Aaron looks up. He doesn't know anything. Just like that, I've hit a nerve. Instead of backing off, I decide to press on. Yes, but what's up with the way everyone seems? I don't know. His, he eyes me carefully. Weird around you? I say, but that's not really what I want to say. I want to say scared around you. I want to ask him why I'm not afraid of him. I want to ask him that makes me a chump that would be victim of a C-list horror movie. You didn't like kill a cat or anything, did you? I asked. I don't know how to follow up that. So I say, because I like cats. Aaron looks at me like the aliens haven't already arrived. Like I'm their alien spawn. Like I have tooth from ears and a cannon from eyes and a long forked tongue that I use for catching and eating the human race. I used to be part of. Why would I kill a cat? He asked, and his questions lay bare how stupid my questions sound. I don't know, I say lamely. Jesus stopped hanging out with me because he'd rather play video games. Aaron says quietly, wiggling the tab of his soda can until it comes off. He flicks it across the room into an old waste basket. He doesn't have to stay anymore. I can hear every single word he's left out. Enzo would rather play his expensive video games that his successful dad can buy him because his dad has a job and that job isn't going away. It's yet one more thing I can't figure out how to bring up with Aaron. That his dad is always around, even during the day, like how my dad is around all day when he's between jobs. There are reasons why the Enzos of the world don't hang out with Aaron and the Nickies of the world. They don't have to be good reasons or fair reasons, but there are always reasons. Too bad. I think Enzo seemed okay. I let out a massive belch that echoes across the empty factory floor. I don't even like video games that much, I say. It's a humongous lie, and Aaron knows it. But for the first time all day, he looks relieved. Like a tiny bit of the 12-year-old he has started to seep back in. Later at Aaron's house, to the lighthouse that seemed to free Aaron from some massive burden that afternoon, disappears once again under the weight of his family. Everyone at the Pearson house is in a bad mood. I thought it was just his mom, who met us at the door and floated away without saying a word. Then after taking too much time removing my rat poop shoes and placing them outside the door, I lost track of Aaron and practically ran straight into in the hallway. She was looking over her shoulder, and when she turned and saw me, she jumped back about a foot. Geez, Nikki, don't be such a creeper. I'm not. I have to go, she said, hurrying out the door with one more furtive glance over her shoulder. Not at me, but behind me. I turned to see what she was looking for, but all I saw were the shadows that lie in the twists and turns of the Peterson house. Now, as we sat in Aaron's room, tinkering with the lock on an old chain, we scrounged from a construction site. I wait for Aaron to say something, anything, because we've been sitting here in dead silence for over an hour. My parents got a letter from the school. I have my class scheduled, but I don't know who any of the teachers are, so it's pretty much meaningless. Aaron grunts. I had a life science teacher at my last school, I say. She had this thing about rabbits, and she had about a dozen at home, and she was constantly worried about them. Sometimes she even brought them to class because she was afraid they'd be lonely. But I always kind of thought it was more so she wouldn't be lonely. Uh-huh. So yeah, I thought that was weird. I clear my throat. Aaron stares out the window. The alien overlords came to see me last night. They brought me about the vessel and threatened to melt my brain into soap unless I promised to become a secret alien agent and shared top secret human intelligence with them. Yep, Aaron mutters, still staring out the window. Then you'll help me, huh? It's an alien human double agent. And what are you talking about? What's up with you? You've been out of it ever since we left the factory, I say. Aaron looks back out the window. I'm about to give up and go home when he says, have you ever thought that maybe you were... What? Nothing. Never mind, Aaron says, looking down. What, like a merman? Oh no, I've never thought that maybe I was a merman. I mean, I like to swim and all. I'm not half bad at it either. There was this lake near. Aaron chuckles despite himself. Weirdo. Now that, yeah, I thought I was a weirdo before. Often, actually. Aaron finally looks at me. Have you thought you were bad? It sounds like such a simple question. I know it should have a simple answer, but Aaron and I both know it's not that simple. I mean, we played pranks on people. I think that's probably not understanding criticism good, I say. Moms were fine of using my powers for good once again pushing its way into my mind. No, but I mean really bad, Aaron says, looking back down at the floor. My dream washes over me, the one I have practically every night but try not to let myself remember during the daytime. The one in the store surrounded by food lineup on the shelf. The room is dark. I'm alone. And even though I have no idea why, I know beyond a doubt that it's my fault I'm there. I think I did something bad once. I say it before I know I'm saying it. It's like I'm hearing myself talk from across the room. You don't know? Aaron asks, looking hard at me now, searching me for a lie. I don't remember, I say. A truth I've never admitted to anyone before. It's just this dream I have. It changes sometimes, but I always wind up in the same place, like I was put there or something. So how do you know you did something wrong? Aaron asks. I think about it for a minute, and when my brain quiets to a whisper, all I hear is my grandmother's voice. You stop that wondering, or one day you won't make it home. Because sometimes I go where I'm not supposed to, I say. Sometimes I go too far. Now we're both looking out the window, and I wonder what Aaron's bad dreams look like. If he feels as alone in his as I do in mine. I don't think just because you do bad things, it makes you a bad person, Aaron says after a long stretch of silence. All of a sudden it occurs to me that I still haven't found out why Aaron was so weird about the Golden Apple amusement park last month. My mind is racing with thoughts of a prank gone awry. But Aaron had done something to the roller coaster that made it crash. But I stop myself before I get too far. Pulling a prank is one thing, but bringing down a roller coaster at 9 years old? It's not impossible, but he's not talking about that. And what is he talking about? What does make a person bad then, I ask. Aaron shows his hand in his pocket like he's embarrassed. Then, so quietly I can barely hear him, He says, being happy when bad things happen. I watch Aaron's face for any clues into what he could mean, but his expression is flat as his tone. Then he looks at me and smiles. It's the old Aaron again, the one who planned a mission just for me to get a sign with my name on it, who carved a safe path through the town of Rariman just so I could get home safely with a 2x2 split pin treasure. He's my friend, an actual friend. Whatever he did or he thinks he did, I've got his back. I'm hungry, I say. Let's go get some tacos. Terry, the next chapter is yours.
The last chapter of the day is mine. Chapter 9. That night I lied in bed waiting for sleep to come, but my stomach is churning. I don't... Alright, the last chapter of the day is mine. Chapter 9. That night I lied in bed waiting for sleep to come, but my stomach is turning. I don't know if it's the tacos or the fact that my conversation with Aaron brought my brain back to the Golden Apple amusement park. I just can't seem to stop imagining what it was like when the roller coaster car went rocketing off the track into a tree. I must be the only 12-year-old in the world who keeps a newspaper clipping of a tragic accident by his bed. It's becoming a habit to reread the same half article at night, skimming it for clues I may have missed before. I haven't had a good excuse to get back to the library at the university since. I hitched a ride with Mom last night, so the second half of the story is still a mystery. Maybe I'm waiting for it all to make sense. Maybe I don't actually want it to know how the story ends. I think about how scared the little girl must have felt, what the other people on the roller coaster thought when it detached, if they even knew or just kept rolling along wondering what everyone was screaming about. I think about what my parents would have done if it was me. The only time I've ever seen my mom cry was when Grandma died. I wonder if she'd cry that hard if I'd die like Lucy Yee. I've just accepted the reality that I'm probably going to be thrown up when a screen cracks the night and launches me from my bed. I rushed to the window and pressed my forehead against the glass, looking for what could have made such an anguished sound. It came from across the street. I'm positive of that. And though it sounds totally nuts, I swear it sounds like Aaron's voice. I've never heard him scream. In any way, what would make him do that at 2 in the morning? But there was something in the tail end of the well that sounded so familiar. I stared out the window for so long that my breath started to clog the glass. Nothing follows that one unearthly sound but a swath of silence, not even pierced by a yowling cat or skittering leaf. Maybe I did fall asleep, I tell myself. I've been so wrapped up in thoughts of morbid accidents and crying moms that I dreamt this dream. I'm not satisfied with that answer. My stomach is starting to turn again, and I'm getting sweaty with my breath bouncing off the window onto my face. I open the window to get a little fresh air, and the silence of the night is once again interrupted, this time by the faint, but undeniable sound of music. Ice cream truck music? Across the street, light glows from the crack under the Pearson boarded up basement door. I started to have flashbacks of the night I eavesdropped on the side of Aaron's house. The night Mr. Peterson lurked outside my window in wordless warning. But a memory more powerful than that is driving me now. The memory of that scream that woke me up, but somehow didn't stir the rest of the neighborhood. It's like the music doesn't. I fight back the voice of Roger begging me to stay in my room and not pop the scream from the window frame. The trails is beginning to get rickety from all the climbing, but I don't care about that now. All I care about is getting close to the Pearson's house. Maybe I can just get a sign from Aaron that everything is okay. That whatever is going on in his basement is a total incident. The drilling, the music, the screams. They're all just what? A play rehearsal? A murder mystery party? All just some comical misunderstanding invented by the short kid across the street with the grubby shoes. The dew from Aaron's lawn soaks my feet, and I stand underneath his window. The crooked oak tree releases tiny droplets onto my head. I scour the yard for a small pebble to chuck it at Aaron's window. After a few failed attempts, I launch one right on the glass. I flinch at the sound, then wait for him to wake up and tell me to leave him alone. Nothing would be more comforting right now. Instead, Aaron's room remains dark, and the music from the basement cuts in and out like chips on a record player, setting my nerves further on edge. Come on, I plead with Aaron under my breath, giving his window one more try, but this time I threw the pebble a little too hard, and instead of a ping sound, I hear a pop, then a crack. And I realize with horror that I've splintered Aaron's window. The music in the basement cuts off, and the footsteps don't just fall evenly on the stairs like they did last time. Now they pound up the steps, thundering the shortest warning before the jingling of keys, signaling the furious unlocking of the deadbolt, securing the door. Frantic, I realized that this time I would have a chance to get across the street undetected. The house offers no place to hide, no bush for cover, or garbage for shelter. The only place to go is the backyard. I regain movement and bolt for the backyard with the kind of adrenaline you hear about in moments of crisis. Eventually, I have more power in my feelings than I realize. I lunge for the only cover I can see, a pair of oak trees directly behind the house that makes for the worst hiding place ever. But I don't have a choice because the keys are rattling faster now and the door is starting to move from its frame. Just as I pull myself behind the trunk, a loud bang on the basement door makes my heart catch in my throat. I peer through the leaves and realize that one lock is still in place. Rather than patiently unlock it, whoever is behind the door has given up trying and instead throwing himself against the wooden door. Switching with each violent knock, I watch as the door bends behind the weight of the attack, the tiny crackling of splintering wood sending a chill through my paralyzed body. With one more vicious thrust, glass Summerluck falls to the grass, and a hulking Mr. Peterson falls through the doorway, red-faced and sweating, with a foam of white glittering gathering in the corners of his mouth. I hang on to the trunk of the oak tree and feel splintering with my heart to stop pounding for fear that the animal that has taken over me, Mr. Peterson, will hear it with his supersonic hearing. I'm quaking so hard, I can see the leaves above me trembling, and I pray not a single leaf drops. I watch in terror as Mr. Pearson strolls across the yard in search of the sound that interrupted his work. I can hear him panting from here, and I begin to think the craziest thoughts. Now my last meal will have been tacos. How disappointed my mom will be in me for using my powers for eavesdropping. How I'll never have gotten to test out my audio manipulator. All through this entire horrific episode, though, the drilling and the window breaking and door destroying, Aaron and his family have managed to stay quietly tucked into their beds, unaware that the boy across the street is about to be annihilated by their psycho dad. I watch as Mr. Pearson crouches to the grass and examines what I can only guess are the footprints I left in the dew. And that's when I notice that there's a grave. Well, I'm not sure it really is a grave because there isn't a dead body in it. But it definitely looks like a grave. Mr. Pearson stands slowly, groping his way across the lawn, and now his demeanor has calmed a bit, as though the animal inside him has been suddenly tamed. He picks up the shovel and starts filling in the grave, even though I swear there's nothing in there. Just an empty grave-shaped hole that I assume he buries trespassers like me. 10 minutes pass, then 20, then 30, as my legs grow weaker and weaker. Suddenly I come back to my senses as the shoveling stops and Mr. Pearson steps to the sidewalk and then to the middle of the street, staring up at the window to my room, looking for signs of life. There is instead of behind him in his own tree. I swallow to wet my dry throat, but it's no use. I've sweated every 1 ounce of moisture from my body. I'd pee my pants if I wasn't already as dry as a desert. Then just like last time, Mr. Peterson, satisfied with whatever accomplishment he had in staring down my bedroom window, and once again he cuts a path through his lawn, stomping one more time to stare at the dented grass by the side of his house. I'm positive he's about to see me, even with the trunk providing cover. There's no doubt he'll spot my stupid teal shirt through the camouflage. I brace for my fate. Then adrenaline no longer provides strength. Now all I can do is wait in paralyzed silence to be discovered. But Mr. Pearson doesn't look up. Instead, he walks calmly, almost sincerely through the basement door, closing the door with care and methodically locking the bolts that remain in place after the carnage. I wait until I'm sure it's not a trap. I wait for the music that doesn't start up again, for the sound of shoes that don't touch the basement steps, for the cracked window in Aaron's room to open. I wait for a single sign of life in the house that was moments ago alive with fury of a single hulking monster. And I come out. I dread climbing the trellis and consider sleeping in my backyard just so I can hide. When I do make it to my room, I push my dresser in front of the window as a barricade. When I wake up the next morning, I feel brave somehow. Maybe it's the light of the day creeping in around the sides of my dresser, or the soreness in my arms that reminds me I had enough wits about me to hide behind the tree. Whatever the reason, I lean against my dresser and return it to its place, staring at the house that had terrified me so badly under the cloak of midnight. You're not so crazy, I tell the house, the man inside it, I almost believed myself until I flinched a little too hard at the sound of scratching just below my window. There, tucked into the trellis, propped against the exterior, under my bedroom window, is a folded piece of yellow notebook paper, its edges fluttering and scraping the siding in the morning breeze. Retreating back to my room, I rummage through my box of gadgets until I find what I'm looking for. A handy little tool I invented after realizing the tangle of vines on the trellis was where Aaron would be leaving me all his secret messages. I finally find it. The grabber I customized using the extended from a pull button and the lever from a pooper scooper. Then I returned to the window, carefully lowering the grabber and retrieving the paper from the vine. And when I unfolded the paper to read the message, I feel even worse than I did when I woke up on the floor. Paper reads, "He's getting worse." I look out the window across the street and wait for the messenger to make themselves known, but I know it's no use. It appears they left behind more than a note, though. From the ground, a glittering catches my eye. I squint to see what it is, but the sun reflects off of its surface and I can't make it out. Guess I'm climbing you again after all, I say to the trellis, which groans under my weight. At the bottom of the trellis, tangled in a thick knot of vines, is a delicate golden chain, a tiny apple charm dangling from its wings. A bracelet I've seen before. Something in my stomach started as I flashed back to another apple, this one made of bronze, dancing in the fountain in the middle of the square. Dancing around the picture of a smiling Lucy Yee. Her wrist decorated with an indigo golden apple charm bracelet. I turn the bracelet over in my hand and realize there's an inscription on the back. Golden Apple Young Inventors Club. I look up and down the street, but it's no use. Whoever left me the bracelet and the note is long gone. You're not far though, are you? I say underneath my breath. I look directly across the street at the Pearson's house. Something tells me you're watching me right now. And that is the end of Chapter 9 and where we will be ending it today. So from us all, goodbye, goodbye.